It's D-U-E-U tell. I see you by this point, you're reading my mind. It's time for football. We about to keep this thing moving. I'm about it, you're with it, let's do it. We gon' make this thing official, you heard me? If you're the best, then let's prove it. The goal is set to have a team become a unit, man. We about to keep this thing moving. I'm about it, you're with it, let's do it. We gon' make this thing official, you heard me? If you're the best, then let's prove it. The goal is set to have a team become a unit, yeah.
Welcome to Football Game Plan's NFL All 32 show. I am Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and today will be all about the Los Angeles Rams as we start to prepare for the upcoming 2021 NFL season. We'll take a look at some training camp quick hits, as well as reasons for optimism and causes for concern, in addition to our offensive and defensive positional breakdowns. But first, let's take a look at some of the key storylines heading into the Rams season as we go into our 4-minute offense. In their biggest move this offseason, the Los Angeles Rams traded Jared Goff for former longtime Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. It was a rare swap between former number 1 overall picks and one that the Rams hope will be the missing link for them offensively and help them get over the hump. Now, Stafford is coming off of a season where he threw for over 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions, completing 64% of his passes at 7.7 yards an attempt. Now, statistically, he outperformed Goff last year by 4 yards per attempt and 6 more touchdowns. Physically, he's a bit better than Goff as well, as even as he enters his 13th season in the NFL. That howitzer that is attached to his right shoulder can still go at 100 miles an hour. Rams head coach Sean McVay is hoping that element will enhance the Rams' offense much more than Goff was capable of doing so during their time together. Another big story, this one more recent, running back Cam Akers tore his Achilles tendon during a training session as he prepared for training camp, knocking him out for the entire 2021 campaign. That's a big blow to the Rams' run game as Akers started to come along toward the back end of the season and paired up with third-year running back Darrell Henderson to form a formidable duo in the backfield. Now, his injury elevates Henderson to more of a lead back role and puts the focus on some untested depth to help carry some of that load within the run game, and we'll see how they're able to supplement what Akers brought to the table on both ends of offense. Going from last year's number 1 overall defense is defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, who left to become the Los Angeles Chargers head coach. In comes Raheem Morris to man the job after spending the last 6 years with the Atlanta Falcons, where he served as both the wide receiver coach, associate head coach, and also defensive coordinator to interim head coach last season. Morris is a brilliant football mind and inherits a defense that has some elite talent on it with guys like Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. He's one of the most well-respected coaches in football who is known to get the most out of his players. The task this year will be to maintain that level of excellence on this side of the football, which was a major component to the Rams making the postseason last year. 2021 will prove to be a pivotal season for a couple of Ram players like Taylor Rapp, Brian Allen, and A'Shawn Robinson. All three will be elevated into more prominent roles this year as starters and will be asked to maintain that level of consistency their predecessors provided. For Robinson, it's about finally being able to be healthy after missing time last year with a health issue that only limited him to 8 games. He was a big free agent signing last year, and the Rams want to see him step up and replace Michael Brockers. Rapp will be stepping in for John Johnson, who left for the Browns, and Allen will be the new starting center, taking over for Austin Blythe. Now, all 3 positions are as critical to the Rams' success as is Stafford at quarterback. Matthew Stafford has had a productive NFL career for a number 1 overall pick. He's been to a Pro Bowl, he's won Comeback Player of the Year, and has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio for his career. He's also been a fairly clutch performer, leading the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks twice and game-winning drives 3 times with an impressive 8 game-winning drives in 2016 to help the Lions get to the playoffs. But you see, the playoffs has been a place where he has only gone 3 times in 12 years, and is also a place where he has never won a game, compared to Jared Goff, who has gone 3 times and won 2 times, including a fourth quarter comeback and game-winning drive against the New Orleans Saints on the road back in 2018. He has also gotten the Rams to the Super Bowl as well. Where the Rams hope Stafford provides the difference is in the consistency department. Stafford physically is better than Goff, which should most definitely help them open up their offense a little bit more, especially with regards to the deep passing game. It's a quarterback-friendly attack, and the last time we saw Stafford pair with that type of coach and offense was during the Jim Caldwell era of 2014 to 2017, which coincidentally was the best stretch of Stafford's career with 3 winning seasons and 2 playoff appearances. So we'll see if history can repeat itself once again in LA with McVay. And I'm also intrigued to watch the battle for QB2 this preseason between John Walford, who gave them good play last year when he was called upon, and second-year player Bryce Perkins out of Virginia, who the staff just raves about, and Devlin Duck Hodges, who started games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We spoke earlier about the impact of Cam Akers' injury and what that means for the Rams' depth chart. This is a big year for Darrell Henderson, who clearly has talent and is clearly their most explosive back, even with a healthy Akers, but staying healthy has been Henderson's biggest bugaboo. Last year was nagging injuries that kept him from getting into a groove, which helped pave the way for Akers to blossom. Now it'll all be up to him to be the lead dog in the backfield, as behind him is some unproven talent. Xavier Jones, the second-year back out of SMU, has some shiftiness to his game, and rookie 7th-round pick Jake Funk was a talented back at Maryland with good vision, good footwork, and burst, but he's had injury concerns coming out of college, and Raymond Calais has top-tier speed and burst, as well as an ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. He also returned kicks for them last season and will more than likely see his role increase in both spots this year. I've always been a fan of the Rams receiving core under Sean McVay. They keep a stacked depth chart, and they have 2 code number 1 wideouts in Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Those 2 receivers are legit good football players who are consistently able to find open grass and receptions. They nearly had identical stats last season and set up Stafford with a good starting duo out there on the perimeter. They also added veteran Deshaun Jackson, who still has the speed to get deep and is still one of the best at tracking the football while it's in the air. He figures to be their go-ball threat off of play action. Expect Van Jefferson, the second-year player out of Florida, to step up this season and get his first crack to replace Josh Reynolds as their number 3 wide receiver. In the second round of the draft, the Rams took Tutu Atwell out of Louisville, who has that Deshaun Jackson-like explosive fluidity within his game and also ball tracking ability as well when going deep down the field. And it'll be interesting to see how they get him and his blistering speed involved in that offense. Fellow rookie Ben Skoranek out of Notre Dame figures to be more of a shallow threat in the passing game, serving in that same capacity to what he did at Notre Dame. Tight end Tyler Higbee, who finished 4th on the team in receiving, gives them a very good, stable option at the position. He scored 5 touchdowns last year on 44 receptions. Now the goal will be to find a consistent number 2 option behind him, since Gerald Everett left in free agency this offseason. Second-year player Bryson Hopkins and rookie Jacob Harris figures to be the 2 major candidates. Hopkins was a talented tight end coming out of Purdue, and Harris is almost like a big wide receiver out there that has that speed to get vertical. So either way, having all 3 ready to go is a good thing, in my opinion, for this passing game. Los Angeles will be asking Brian Allen to step in the starting role at center, and hopefully we'll have future Hall of Fame tackle Andrew Whitworth back at left tackle to start the season. If not, they at least know they can get good play from Joseph Noteboom, who filled in admirably last season when asked to do so. Both Austin Corbett and David Edwards give them really strong play at guard, and Rob Havenstein is a rock-solid player to have at right tackle. Keep an eye out for undrafted rookie free agent Alaric Jackson out of Iowa, as he'll compete with Bobby Evans to provide that swing depth at tackle, and both Jamil Demby and Tremaine Ankrum give them really good depth inside at guard. So this is a very good, stable, in my opinion, offensive line. The Los Angeles Rams defensive line starts with Aaron Donald, who is one of the most dominant defenders in league history. When you consider his level of productivity combined with his size and how teams try to block him, it just makes what he does out there on the field even more impressive. He's a centerpiece up front, and the Rams are hoping to continue to get better around him. They are hopeful that A'Shawn Robinson can alleviate some of that stress off of Donald on game day, and if he's healthy, he'll have the chance to impress. Sebastian Joseph Day got better last year and is mainly their primary run stuffer, and 2 rookies in Ernest Brown IV out of Northwestern and Bobby Brown III out of Texas A&M have a chance to work into the rotation up front, along with 3rd-year player Greg Gaines. Now, 2nd-year players Jonah Williams and Michael Hoach were undrafted rookie free agents last season that ended up on the practice squad, and I'm excited to see how they progress this season during the preseason and training camp. Leonard Floyd turned in a fantastic season in his first year with the Rams, finishing with 10.5 sacks and 55 tackles. Getting a healthy Obania Okoronkwo helps bolster the pressure coming off the corner. I also like the impact Justin Hollins made last season when given the opportunity. I think he's a good player that has a great chance to start opposite of Floyd. And both Justin Lawler, who returns back healthy, and second-year player Terrell Lewis give them solid depth on the outside. Now on the inside, they're both deep and talented. Troy Reeder was an excellent find a couple of seasons ago as an undrafted rookie free agent out of Delaware. He and Micah Kaiser form a good duo, and Kaiser's injury concerns just forces you to taper any type of expectations a bit for him long term, which is why Kenny Young's acquisition was crucial last year, as he provides him availability and both ability on both ends of defense. I would expect him to start opposite of Troy Reeder. Now, rookie Ernest Jones is an impactful tackler upon contact and should be a core special teamer initially, as should Chris Garrett, the rookie out of Concordia St. Paul, who can play across the board but has really good upside as a blitzer or rusher coming off the edge. As is the case with Aaron Donald, this unit starts with cornerback Jalen Ramsey, who is one of the elite defenders in the league. He was an All-Pro last season, the second time in his career, and teams don't even bother throwing his way, which meant that Darius Williams saw a ton of action last year and will be looked upon to take an even bigger role within this defense as Troy Hill left via free agency. Williams led the team in interceptions last year with 4 and also broke up another 14 passes. The Rams drafted Robert Rochelle in the 4th round out of Central Arkansas and expect him to compete for that third spot with third-year player David Long, who has the inside track at the position. But don't count out Rochelle, who is a tremendous athlete with matchup capabilities. At safety, Jordan Fuller was an impressive rookie, earning 12 starts and picked off 3 passes, and I would expect to see him continue to grow his game in year 2. Opposite of him, I'm excited about the potential between both Taylor Rapp and Terrell Burgess out of Utah. Both are versatile enough to play either safety spot, and more than likely we'll see a ton of time out there on the field in this defense. Burgess will be coming off of an injury, so expect Rapp to garner more reps right out of the gate, but Burgess will definitely have a significant impact by season's end. One of the reasons for optimism for the Rams is the fact that they do have elite defensive talent. 2 players at key positions, Aaron Donald that can affect the pocket and destroy a run game, and Jalen Ramsey who can destroy any type of passing offense by taking away an opponent's number 1 wide receiver. The offense also has upside potential. We talked about Stafford's impact with the deep passing game. That just opens things up for this tremendous receiving core that they have out there on the perimeter. And Sean McVay is a fantastic coach, does a great job of keeping this team both current and ahead of the curve in terms of schematics, always putting them in a position to have a chance to win games. One of the major causes for concern would be the depth in the backfield. Again, when you have Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers, that's fantastic depth. That's a great 1-2 punch. When you don't have one of the two, it becomes a depth issue. So they'll have to work that out during the preseason. And how good is Matt Stafford actually? I think we'll find that out this season. Like I alluded to it earlier, he had his best success under a coach like Jim Caldwell. You can put Sean McVay in that same realm. He's a fantastic coach just like Jim Caldwell. So maybe Stafford can see a rejuvenation of sorts of his career, because right now it is hard for me and for a lot of people to get past a 74-90 career record and also the 8-67 career record versus teams that have winning records. So Stafford has a lot to get over in terms of being that guy that they expect him to be, but history has shown when paired with a very good coach and a good offensive setup that's quarterback friendly, he has had success. Now let's take a look at some training camp quick hits, and we'll start with our camp surprises on both sides of the ball. Offensively, keep an eye out for Jake Funk. I really love this game coming out of Maryland. If he can stay healthy, this is a guy that has a chance to really surprise and be that running back 2 behind Darrell Henderson. And safety Paris Ford was tremendous talent coming out of Pitt. He's a matchup defender, can play across the secondary. Ignore what he tested during his combine. He plays a lot faster and shows a lot more athleticism and versatility in that regard. I think he'll surprise in camp. Rookie impact player offensively, tight end Jacob Harris, I think has a chance to really step up and star as a rookie. He is a tight end by position. He's built like a tight end, but plays like a wide receiver, especially when getting vertical and also above the rim. So I think he has a chance to be a good red zone option in his passing game. And Robert Rochelle, coming out of Central Arkansas, stepped up big in all of his games this year in a truncated season, but has the athleticism, has the length, the ball skills, and proved to be ready to go against top competition this past January down at the Senior Bowl. The biggest X factor offensively, I think you have to look at Matt Stafford. They brought him in for a reason. They moved hell and high water to get him in here, traded some tremendous draft capital. He has to pay off big this season. And Taylor Rapp stepping up into a starting role, being that type of player that they want on the back end, a guy that's a move piece or a chest defender, as I like to say, and he's going to have a huge year for the Rams. Breakout candidates, I do think Van Jefferson is primed for a breakout. He's a fantastic route runner. He understands how to get open, and working with a guy in Matt Stafford should help him get the football on a consistent basis. On the defensive side, I look for Terrell Burgess when he's back healthy and out there to have a huge impact this year. They drafted him for a reason. He is someone that can play both safety spots in addition to matching up in the slot as a slot defender. Look for him to have a breakout year. The road to the Super Bowl for the Rams goes as follows. Stafford has to become the missing link. This is a question of whether he should or can he. He has to become that missing link offensively. Henderson has to stay healthy. Those are two big keys in order for the Rams to go far. And if the defense remains top 5, they'll be in every game. If the first two can happen in conjunction with number 3, they can stay home in February and play in the Super Bowl. I have the Rams finishing third in the NFC West. I have major concerns about Matt Stafford and how he's going to fully transform this offense. And you also have questions about the depth in the backfield. And you hope that Darrell Henderson can be out there for a full 17-game season. But this is a division that's going to be tough. And I could easily see 3 teams vying for a playoff spot. But right now, based on what I've seen so far and what I project, I just have the Rams finishing right behind a couple of teams in this division. So that's it for this edition of Football Game Plan's NFL All 32 show. I am Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts. Don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/Football Game Plan. And wherever you get your podcasts, be sure to subscribe to Football Game Plan Podcast and leave us a 5-star rating.
It's tell I see you by this point, you're reading my mind. It's time for football. We about to keep this thing moving. I'm about it, you're with it, let's do it. We gon' make this thing official, you heard me? If you're the best, then let's prove it. The goal is set to have a team become a unit, man. We about to keep this thing moving. I'm about it, you're with it, let's do it. We gon' make this thing official, you heard me? If you're the best, then let's prove it. The goal is set to have a team become a unit, yeah.